Hello, I'm Marlene Hutchinson. Welcome to the Tips for Guitar Playing Success podcast. I'm so glad you're joining me here today because I'm going to be talking about how to change your chords quickly, smoothly, and accurately. So stay tuned. This podcast is brought to you in part by Gator. Whether you just need a bag to gig with on the weekends, or a frequent flyer needing a flight-friendly TSA Series case, or a dedicated road warrior bringing your instruments on tour, Gator has a solution for you. For the stuff you love, guard it with Gator. You know, changing guitar chords smoothly and quickly is one of the biggest challenges that guitar players can face at any level. And whether you're new to guitar playing, trying new chords, or you're an experienced player working on some new chord shapes, you can stumble, and that's completely normal. But it doesn't have to be your forever. In this episode, I'll share with you my tips and tricks about how to move through your chord changes with ease, confidence, and speed. As always, a big shout out this week and thank you to our fellow guitarists joining us from Algeria, Finland, Jamaica, and Canada. And hey, would you do me a quick favor? Would you tap the subscribe button? It's the best way that you could show your support for this podcast and for me. And it's absolutely free, so don't fret. Just tap that subscribe button below, and thank you for supporting this show. Now, on to today's tip. Have you ever had that feeling like your fingers have a mind of their own? They're just doing whatever they want, not what you want them to do. It's pretty normal, especially when you're learning new chords. And that's because the muscle memories have not quite formed yet. And that's what I'm going to share with you, tools to help you solidify those muscle memories so that when you play your chords in your songs, you'll be moving through them quickly and having a lot more fun with your music. So here's a few of my tricks that can help you learn to play accurately and quickly. When us guitarists are first learning chords or new chord progressions, we tend to want to play them quickly. We just want to get to playing them. And that can lead to a lot of bloopers and mistakes, and frankly, it usually just doesn't sound very good. So the strategy of playing these chords or chord progressions slowly is the secret sauce to learning to play them accurately because you're gaining that muscle memory. And when I'm teaching my students, I encourage them to play the chords slowly and repetitively, aka practice. I also recommend that they say out loud how to finger the chord. For example, with the C chord, finger 1 goes on string 2, finger 2 on string 4, and finger 3 on string 5. So the way I suggest you say it out loud is 2, 4, 5, that's the strings, in frets 1, 2, and 3. That way you're telling your fingers where to go, because sometimes what happens when chords are new or chord shapes are new, we might forget exactly where our fingers need to be placed. And again, you want to make solid muscle memories in the right places. So again, with that C chord, 2, 4, 5, first fret, second fret, third fret. Let's try that with the G chord. So with the G chord, I recommend that you describe it as 5 in the second fret, 6 and 1 in the third fret. Now this is of course assuming you're going in order of your fingers. So saying it out loud 5 in the 2nd fret, 6 and 1 in the 3rd fret. And again, by talking yourself to where your fingers need to go, it's going to help you create solid muscle memories of those chords. Now, it's really important when you're changing your chords to notice what's happening. Maybe one of your fingers gets tripped up consistently. So noticing that and knowing that can help you to correct it. For example, if you're playing the C chord, and then you're going to the G chord, but your first finger seems to always want to go, say, to the 6th string. If you're watching that, you can make that correction, notice how it feels when it's correct, and then do it again, slowly, of course. The next strategy that's really helpful, as I mentioned earlier, is to play your chords slowly. So just like what I did, C to G. And just playing that slowly, moving back and forth, noticing your fingers, getting them in the right places. Then, when you feel like you're a little more ready to challenge yourself, speed it up slightly. But watch very carefully as you're doing that, because you want to see if you get tripped up, where you're getting tripped up, and go back and look at the correction. So here it is a little bit faster. C, G, C, G. Okay, so that's working out. Now, if you're having bloopers, then slow it back down, correct those bloopers, and then challenge yourself to play it faster again. If you feel like you've got it accurate and you're spot on at the medium-ish tempo, then speed it up even more. You want to keep going and pushing yourself just beyond that point of where you can play it perfectly. And watch carefully what it is that's slowing you down. Maybe it's just that you got to get your fingers moving more quickly. That could be just a little more stretching or things like that. So really notice what's happening so you can make those corrections. Another really cool strategy is to do what we were just talking about, playing your chords slow, medium, and fast, but doing it with a metronome. A metronome is a device that counts the time for you. It's sort of like your own personal drummer. And there are many kinds. There's electronic kinds that you can get on your devices and online. There's apps. You can find them sometimes on your clip-on tuners or your electronic tuners. And there's also the old-fashioned kind, like this one I grabbed from my shelf. It looks kind of like a half a clock, and the arm just swings back and forth. So what you want to do is whenever there's that ticking sound, you want to move to the next chord. So you play on the tick and then you move to the next one. Now, I really recommend that you set the beats per minute, BPM, at a low, slow tempo, like somewhere in the 40 to 45 range, because that will take you really to a slow beat and give you a chance to get used to playing with a metronome. For example, on this one, if I move it to in the 40 range, and I would play the chord whenever the tick is sounding. So that means I got to get to the next chord in between. So it would go something like this. C, G, C, G, C, G. Then, if you feel like that tempo is working for you, you've got accuracy, it's going great, you want to speed it up. So you want to have a bigger number of beats per minute, right? So click, 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 click. So it really helps you to stay on task and on cue with moving quickly. We'll pause that. So as I said, you can find them online. There are apps. They're on tuners. So whichever kind you use, they all work the same, but it's really a useful tool to help you to get used to moving in and out of your chords quickly. And as far as learning to change your chords quickly within your songs, the secret sauce to that one is keeping your rhythm going while you're changing your chords, no matter what, even if you're having problem getting to your chord. So for example, let's say you're going back and forth from C to G in your song. So while I'm getting to that chord, I'm still strumming. And same thing when I go back to the C. Oh, I'm still getting organized. Where is that chord? Oh, there it is, right? Now you're going to have a little bit obviously different sound while you're kind of in between the chords and getting change to them. But here's the reason this works so beautifully. When we pause our strum to go to another chord, it sends a signal to the brain to say, hey, I'm really not in much of a hurry, so take your time. And that's what happens with your hands. So by keeping this going, this hand is saying to that hand, I'm not stopping, so get moving, right? Even if you're looking to see where you need to be, even if you're not sure, oh, let's say you have a blooper, oh, that doesn't sound right. So you continue the strum. It feels a little wonky, kind of like what, tapping your head and rubbing your belly. But once you get used to doing that, I'm telling you, it's such a great trick to get the job done of learning to change your chords while you're strumming for your songs. And I have one more little trick that I think is really helpful when you're trying to change chords quickly and smoothly within your songs. When you're playing a song, what I think is really, really great to do, and I tell all my students to do this, is to look ahead in your music to see what your next chord will be. If you look ahead and you see, oh, G is my next chord, your brain is already starting to think about what it needs to tell your fingers to do. So it's just a matter of anticipating that chord a little bit to, again, send signals to your fingers to do what you want them to do rather than whatever they feel like doing. So to wrap things up, if there's just even one thing that you take away from this episode, what I would hope you would take away is to play slowly, because you can always speed things up. But if you're playing quickly and you're making bloopers, that's not really very fun and it's not going to sound great. So what I like to say is speed it up slowly. I hope this episode's tip has helped you to continue expanding your guitar playing skills and knowledge. If you'd like to learn more, please check out the many learning resources available at marlenesmusic.com. Thank you for joining today's podcast, and as I like to say, play on.